Good evening, gamers, and welcome back to Hellstormwargaming. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed the rendition of Back. And welcome back to Hellstormwargaming. My name is Mike. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch tonight because we've got loads to talk about. We've got so much to talk about. We've got 2 new detachments to look at. And I'm going to tell you why 40k ain't actually broken. All right, welcome. Hello, say hi if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. Hello. How are you doing? Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, if you don't know, my name is Mikey. I'm live every single day in December. I've not missed one yet. Not missed a single stream. We are on day 9 now. So 9 streams in a row. All longer than usual. All longer than usual as well. All right? No half measures. Not like, oh, he's streaming every day, so he's only going live for 20 minutes. No. Longer streams. Okay? Today is the only day that I'm going to stream to my usual time of 7 till 9 because Kirioth is doing their charity stream today, and I'd like to go raid them afterwards. Okay, so at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be raiding Kirioth for their charity stream. Speaking of charity stream. Okay, listen. I'm going to be live with the charity stream, the Jingle Jammer Battle Report on Wednesday, my dudes. Okay, we're going to be live on Wednesday with Big C. Big C is going to be doing a fill-in for the charity Jingle Jammer game, so that stream will be going up probably tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure what armies fully, but I know Big C's going to be running Tau, and I'm probably going to run a new detachment. I might run Grey Knights because they get revealed tomorrow. I might run something else. Maybe I'll run whatever's released on Wednesday. Who knows? Okay. But myself and Big C at probably 7:30 will be doing the big charity game for in collaboration with Calm and the Jingle Jam. Okay. So I know I'm supposed to do it on Saturday. If you're all good to you missed it, I know that's it's annoying. We're going to be doing it on Wednesday evening, okay? I'm actually going to be live twice on Wednesday because I'm going to cover the armies in the morning as well, okay? I'm going to cover the armies, turn off stream, and then go to Sanctuary and set up there and do 2 streams in one day. So I'm actually streaming twice. That's 8 streams this week, okay? We're live today at 7. Tomorrow we're going to be live around 11:30. Okay, because what we're going to do, the Grey Knight detachment at 12. And then we're going to play Space Marines 2 new mission. And I'm going to be live on Twitch as well. So if you want to watch along on Twitch, you'll unlock Twitch drops. You'll get the exclusive new skins and stuff like that for watching on Twitch. Okay, so I'm going to be live tomorrow, 11:30. Not ready for you, baby. Not ready for you. Need hype. Okay, wait for it. So tomorrow from 11:30, we're going to be live covering the new Grey Knights detachment, because obviously Games Workshop have announced Grey Knights tomorrow. As long as no one's ever fucking gaslighting me on Facebook, I presume that's the one's coming out tomorrow. I actually don't have any idea. And then we're going to be playing the new mission on Space Marine 2. If any of you are at home in chat being like, I've got nothing to do tomorrow, and I want to play some Space Marine 2, then you can join me, depending who it is, obviously, members only, all the Twitch subs now. You can join me to play Space Marine 2, play the new mission, will be very cool. And then Wednesday, 2 streams in a day. We're going to do the armies and no morning news first thing, probably from 10. Then we're going to be live at 7:30 doing the charity game. And then Thursday, I'll probably be live in the morning as well. Then Friday, I'm doing a joint stream. I'm not sure where it's being streamed yet, but I'm doing a collaboration stream with all the Warhammer tubers that have been working with Calm. So this is like Kirioth with Peachy, probably with Midwinter Minis, probably with Pete the Wargamer, I believe, if I remember correctly. So all the Warhammer YouTubers have been doing charity drives for the last 2 weeks. On Friday, we're going to be doing a joint stream together. So it's a really big week. It's a really, really big week. So thanks so much for tuning in. But what are we doing today? Okay, I've been having some thoughts. Well, first of all, we're going to look at the new Imperial Knights and new Chaos Knights. That's the first job today. Okay, that's on the agenda. Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, not necessarily in that order. All right. Then we're going to do a little chat. We're going to have a little chat. There's been some conversations I've been having on the Discord, exclamation point Discord in chat. Okay. And I've been doing a long think. I've made notes. Okay. I've got a whole, quick spoiler. I made notes. Okay. This is how many notes I've never made this many notes for a stream ever. These are the notes. I don't want you to read them too early, but they're all the notes, as you can see. Okay. We're going to be having a look at, having a discussion. Okay. There's been some things that have been coming up on Discord, as I said, and just general thoughts. How good is 40k actually? All right. How good is 40k actually? Is the game actually broken? Is the game actually fun, that's what we're going to be discussing afterwards, okay? So get your little thoughts, get your thoughts ready. That's what we're going to be doing today. But I want to say a huge thank you to Conga Stewie for the 22 months. Really appreciate you. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for being a member for so long, mate. Really appreciate you. We are trying to hit 10 members and 10 subs every single day. Maybe we'll hit it, maybe we won't. But that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. So welcome, everybody. How are you doing? Let me catch up with chat, all right? Let me catch up with chat. Late streamer on time. I was on time. I was just dancing. I was dancing to some cello, bro. Wow, wee wah. Hello, hi, it's Griff. How are you? That's Des. Hello, mate. Ryan yeah, do you know, like, we were talking about, like, the stealth thing? I posted the video yesterday. And everyone was like, I can't believe Mikey's trying to explain Scout to everyone. I'm like, bro, there was like 4 comments being like, why does the rhino die if no one's in it? And I was just like, of course you have to explain Scout to people, you dumb fuck. There's so many angry comments in my video yesterday, which is something I'm going to bring up today as well. So many people read the title and didn't watch any of the video at all. At all. They just saw a title, they commented, got angry, downvoted, and left. There's some really wild comments, to be honest. There's some really wild, like this one. Let me show you. This is on a video about talking about the new detachments, talking about each trick in the detachment, and then saying that I think there's a little bit of bloat. Okay. Ha! This guy is such a tryhard. Keep chasing the meta, neckbeard. You'll stay miserable for the rest of your life. Play theme battles. Stop fucking yourself in the brain, genius. There is a reason your people's empire fell. I don't understand what this comment means. I honestly don't understand what this is trying to say. If anyone can work out what this means, just like a general idea of like, oh yeah, this is what he means, that'd be great. Because I've got no fucking idea what it means. That sounds weirdly racist. It's just weird. It just doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It has no relevance to anything that was said in the video. It has no relevance to any idea that was given. I'm just there talking about my little toy soldiers. Guess needs a yank. Not to be rude to my yank fans, because there is 40% of you who are American. A lot of the dumb comments do come that way. Okay, that's not me blaming you. That's me saying rein your mates in. Rein your old pals in, because they're on fucking one all the time. 40k is starting to feel broken. It reminds me of 7th edition Blue. That's what we're going to talk about in a bit on this instincts. Hungry a bit late? No, I wasn't. Don't lie. Don't lie to yourself. I was even live on a Twitch 5 minutes before I was on YouTube, bro. Okay. I was live on Twitch 5 minutes before. Have you been down to the barbers? Yeah, last week. Good to see you, Mikey. Hi, Hobby Heap. How you doing? So you streaming on the 25th? I'm not 100% sure, but probably. I'm not sure what I'll do on the 25th. Mikey's back again. Nice. Desk stream went so late. Desk stream. Longer than usual, Mikey's middle name. That's me. I am longer than most. Woo, Big C. Yeah, we do love Big C. Big C's doing a massive favour, so we're going to make sure we hype up the charity stream on Wednesday, because he's doing a huge favour. Someone planning a wedding. I just like bags, I like classics. I like the classics, you know what I mean? I like the classics. I'm not going to lie, I watched the video, didn't read the title. Nah, that's what I want, okay? The title... the title is there to get people in, okay? It's your job to deduce whether it's worth watching. Thanks for the shout out. No problem, mate. My pleasure. It's a collection of words, literally. He's basically calling you a tryhard and that you come off as miserable. The last sentence is about the fall of the British Empire. Yeah, I understood, like... I understood the context of the insult. I just didn't understand how any of it was relevant. I didn't understand why any of it was relevant. On the 25th, you could live stream the reveals. Yeah, that's true. I forgot there was reveals on Christmas Day. Probably Emperor's Children, right? Probably Emperor's Children coming out on Christmas Day. Also, chat, let me know if the music's too loud. Probably the guy doesn't like competitive players, maybe. But I keep getting ads on live stream because I have ads automatically now. Because I'm like, you know, like I had that holiday. I'm sorry, okay. Unless we're hitting 10 members, I've got to have ads on. Oh, it's not. I don't agree with you. You're awesome. Thank you, Christopher. Very nice of you to say. Well, Maggie, you're live every December. Does that include Christmas? Probably. I did stream Christmas Day last year. I did stream last year on Christmas Day. We did the gingerbread house competition, if you remember. Or some of you might remember. How many times a day do you think of the Tau Empire? I don't know, because it's my fault it fell. Let's see if I can find it. Hellstorm Christmas stream. It was bad. Christmas Ask Me Anything. And I think I streamed the year before that as well. I think I did AI shit. I was like looking at AI shit at the time. Look, we did Christmas stream. 3, 2, 1. We did like a time. Look, 25th. There, look how blonde my hair is. And how blonde Georgie's hair is. Holy fuck. Yeah, we did a gingerbread. We bought gingerbread houses. And then we tried to make Warhammer things out of them. And I made a dreadnought, but then it fell over. As you can see, there's a dreadnought. And Georgie's parents judged it. And Georgie's dad said mine was shit. I did Warhammer thing. Georgie just built the reindeer. I'll tune in on the big TV. It'll be like the Queen's speech. It's actually better, yeah. But yeah, we'll probably do an hour live, you know. We'll probably do an hour. It'll be fun. It is beautifully terrible. Thanks, mate. Thanks, bro. It was fun. It was a good laugh. It was a good laugh, to be fair. The sound was shit, though. Gingerbread knot. That's what I did. Because I saw that meme, right? I saw that meme. This one. And I was like, yo, I'm going to build that on Christmas Day out of gingerbread. Yo, it's so sick. I could do that. And then I realized it's not gingerbread. You've all been lied to. It's fucking crackers. Can you see? That's not gingerbread. That's never been gingerbread. It's graham crackers. Graham crackers. Here's the high res one. We all got lied to, bro. They're crackers. They've never been gingerbread. So mine kept falling over because I stuck to the story and built it out of gingerbread. Those hips to digest. No, they're crackers. They're crackers. And hot glue. That's not icing. That's hot glue. Mine was true. True to the old what we were saying. We're trying to make a gingerbread knot, so I was trying to make it out of gingerbread. And this one isn't even made out of gingerbread. I'm gonna go back to the wage cage. Have fun. And they've got fucking twiglets for guns. They've got little Pez sweets for the hand. Otherwise, it's great. It's just made out of crackers, not gingerbread. Actual scam. It should be ho 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 heretics. Graham cracker bread knot. Graham cracker knot. I don't think you can say that. Ironic considering how often you're called cheat. I've never cheated once. Not once in my life. Anyway, chat, I can't make any content ever again. Because someone has literally sent a space marine to space. I can't make any content ever again because someone has literally sent a space marine into space. How can I top this ever? Except for the fact that it is a really bad paying job. And it's got mold lines on its legs. What am I supposed to do now? And it survived the landing. That's what's crazy. The fucker survived the landing. It's copyright. It's a remix. Should be alright. Should be alright. And yeah, also on that note, a lot of people are like, where's your stream, Mikey, after I finished? When I'm gaming, sometimes there's songs in there that are copyrighted, so they go down, and then I have to wait for it to be removed. So all my streams will always come back up. We need isnt a Slayer sword to space. Yeah, can we borrow, like, fucking Andy Wardle? Come on, lads. Gives us a space marine so I can send it up, you know? But isn't that fucking mad? What else is left? Nothing is sacred. Not even space is sacred to the Space Marine anymore. Definitely not made with glue then. Yeah, because it's a fucking kids one, isn't it? It's a push fit one. That's why it's covered in mold lines. I wonder why it's got a knife, not a bolt gun, though. Like, what a weird loadout to go to space with. You know, with no gravity, how are you going to use the sword and knife? You know? Honestly, if I didn't know it'd survive, I'd have not spent time on the mold lines either, but that's absolutely wild and epic. It's pretty fucking crazy, in it, to be honest. It is pretty fucking weird. What was the camera? Yeah, it's a GoPro. These are like normal because it's like I sent it into space, which it technically isn't in space, but it's just a fucking, it's a GoPro on a balloon. You know? It's a GoPro on a balloon, and then when it gets up to atmosphere, the pressure makes it pop, and then it comes back down. If it was in space, it wouldn't come back down. It's still in the atmosphere, but obviously, you can see the curvature of the Earth, which is cool. Such a gatekeeper focusing on the paint job and the loadout. Oh, I'm just saying! 27 kilometers. How far away is space? 28? 29? God, I actually didn't say it's space. Actually cringe. Clickbait, motherfucker. Dude sent a marine into space. Mikey, tourist. I'm more amazed the camera seems to survive. Yeah, it's just, this isn't new though, right? You've seen this before. People have sent everything into space in this method, you know? Fucking Red Bull, Prime bottles, fucking key rings, my mate's phone, shit like that. You know? Like, think of something. iPhone to space. We sent an iPhone 13 into space. Wait for the end of the video to get that watch time up. Skip past it because I do not care about any of this. But there you go, same thing. Sent an iPhone into space. It's fucking zip tied. But yeah, it's the same method, it's the same thing. It's cool though, it is fucking very sick. It is very sick. And watching it come down is always fun. Anyway. I thought that was funny. I've literally got nothing left. You know, I've got like, all the ideas are done. All the ideas done now. I ain't got enough. I'm literally Ian Beale when it comes to content. You know? What else am I supposed to do? I can't even send a fucking... I have to send an Invicta wall suit to space, and everyone will be like, oh yeah, it's like that fucking Space Marine that got sent. I'm like, yeah, exactly. How could I twist it if it's already Warhammer? Bat rep from space. That might be a little bit more expensive. Nick, do you know that war suit you painted for me? With his little suitcase. Chat. Chat. What if I sent him on a little holiday? What if I sent this motherfucker on holiday? I don't think the aerials would survive. These little suitcase, you get a little NASA logo painted on. You know? gave me a little NASA sticker. That would be epic, it would be. Go the other way and send something down to the Titanic on the trench. Imagine. 5 billionaires gonna do it, but my one Space Marine can. I painted a Space Marine in space. That would be pretty nuts, to be fair. Imagine getting the paint out just in the air. I don't need a wet palette. I've got the atmosphere. I've just got all around me. Yo, that would be actually pretty sick. That would be a little yoink and twist. Slap chopping in space. Call it slap spacing round. I don't know what you call it. Slap popping. You know? The thing just floats away. Be a little. Oh yeah, yeah. Citadel pots or drop a bottle. Drop a bottle. Just in front of you. That would be funny. That would be good. That would be good. Looking for originality, that's where you're going wrong. That is always my problem. That is always my downfall. I try to twist things. No one else does. People just fucking steal from me, like we've discussed before. Well, if instead you send 2 Space Marines, make them Blood Ravens, and just steal the idea. Not a bad shout. There we go. Sorted. 2 Space Marines. Send up a Votan Sagittor as a moon buggy. Feel like we're not thinking wide enough. You know, we're not thinking as adventurous. Oh, they've literally posted a video. It's just come out now. That is a bad thumbnail. It's sponsored by the Army Painter, is it?
Calculations on where the balloon might land.
Remilitarize.
GoPro lens, because right now it's not focused. That's exactly what we want. So
Yeah, it's a GoPro.
So my brother's now calculated.
I want to see like the contraption. You know what I mean? Oh, there it is. Look, there's the balloon. Because I'm like 90% sure it's just helium, right?
Figure to do 10 times whatever that is, and that's how many cubic. Huh?
0.42. So 4.2.
We've got 4.2 cubic meters currently in the balloon, Stephen.
If you spill your Agrox Air Shade in space, will anyone hear you scream? No, definitely not.
Hang on.
Yes. Definitely not. They won't hear anything. You'll just drown.
Yeah, 6:30. Can we turn on the experiment? Okay. How do we do that? Michael, you know how to do turn on the queen. Start working it.
Look at the fucking size of the box they've got to send it with. That's so much extra weight. That just does it so it doesn't fucking smash.
Woohoo! On a mission.
Where have they done it? Chelsea. Ugh. Ugh. Disgusting. There it is, his base. Oh, on the way up anyway. That is quite pretty, to be fair. That is pretty. You know? Yo, Flat Earthers, explain this. Lighting's a bit shit. Yeah, lighting could be better, bro. That is so cool. You know? That is so, so sick. It's so simple. It's just this fucking Space Marine on a camera, but the camera just happens to be really high. But it's just like a cool view, innit? It's a Assault Marine as well, everyone. Only way to escape London is to be yeeted into space. Absolute mood. How come GW didn't fucking sponsor this? No offense to Army Painter, but fucking hell.
Our Space Marine hit his maximum altitude. The balloon burst and he began his descent back to Earth. What began as a bit of a gimmick that I thought would be an easy way to get a few clicks actually turned out to be one of the most difficult and challenging projects I've ever undertaken on this channel, but also the most fun.
Yeah, you literally tried to get a fucking Space Marine, leave the atmosphere, bro.
Mostly because I finally got to do a project with my brother Steve, a great excuse to spend time together, with both of us bringing our own brand of nerdiness to the table to make it happen. Without my brother's help, I would have never managed to get the Space Marine off the ground, so a huge thank you to him and also his school for helping to facilitate.
This is pretty mega, to be fair.
Also to my nephews Elijah and Joel, who both turned up.
Getting into orbit is probably quicker than getting to the M25.
Ultimately helped us achieve our final goal. And of course, Sam and Aisling for entertaining my daughter while we were down in
Fucking
the basement
hell.
trying to figure the whole thing out. I also can't forget my awesome
Get
friend-
really high and call the video "What's higher, me or this Space Marine?" Who can get higher first? I'm just there smoking a blunt. The Space Marine on a helium balloon. I'm smoking a blunt when he's got an Ultramarine logo.
Benedict, he was willing to take any day on final launch week off work just to help us chase down the Space Marine. What a legend. I finally have to give a huge tip of the hat to the Army Painter for taking the risk to give us the budget in the knowledge that we might have. And of course, if you see your name scrolling across the bottom of the screen, that means that you're one of my awesome Patreon
I just can't
members
believe
who
it
hasn't
fucking
given up on me
survived.
yet. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much
You
for
know?
the support. There are more updates coming your way very, very soon.
I'm just survived. It didn't. I'm surprised it didn't fucking explode.
So,
It's so dumb though, isn't it? Because you literally just go, yeah, just send it into space and then it'll fall back down and we'll go get it. It looks cool though, but just think of like the concept. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna blow up a balloon, watch it go up, and then wait for it to come back down and then watch what it did. It looks sick, but it's just such a funny concept of just like, yeah, we're gonna send a balloon into space for the video. We're gonna send a balloon up, but we're gonna strap a camera to it. It's very funny. I'm more amazed it even came down in the same country. I suppose you'd have to like need the right weather, right? Because if it's too much wind, it just got to be gone. Mr. No More Content putting a lot of work into discredit the Space Marine in space. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to say, yeah, it's crap, rubbish, get rid. Get rid. We don't need it. Because with this out, I've got nothing left. That was a good video. Really cool concept. It does look really fucking sick. It's just a funny concept of just how we just send things into space and it comes back down again. Space in inverted commas. Does go fucking high though. Does go very high. So well done to them. Go give them a follow. They're called Natural One. Nat One Videos. There you go. Go give them a follow. They're really fun. Honestly, should have just put a jump pack on him. Yeah. Yeah. They should have. But I'll let them off, you know what I mean? I'll let them off. Right. Right. Let's have a look at some rules, shall we? Clearly shows that in drop pod. There'll be like a weight limit, right? Jokes aside. But yeah, drop pod would have been cool. But that would have exploded, you know? But maybe just the doors blow off, which would have been cool. Maybe the doors blow off and that's cool. Today's detachment can be summed up by buy more chaff. Yeah. Right, baby, right. Let's talk about Chaos Knights to begin with, shall we? So Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights have both got a new detachment today. We've had the back-to-back double, the two-time. That's what they call it. The two-time. We've got Iconoclast Fiefdom, all right, which is the new Chaos Knights detachment. And I've already realised how it's broken. And by broken, I mean funny, as in something stupid happens. So the Iconoclast Fiefdom is essentially, along with the Imperial Knights one, like we said yesterday, a way to add Chaos Space Marines to your army. Okay. While a friendly damned unit is within 9 inches of a Titanic Chaos Knight, that unit can reroll a hit roll and a wound roll of 1. And Chaos Knights have the following ability. Each time a Chaos Knights unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a dark sacrifice. If it does, select one damned unit within 6. That damned unit must take a leadership test. If passed, destroy D3 models in that damned unit. If failed, destroy D3 plus 3 models in that damned unit. In either case, select one of the Chaos Knights' following ability. One of the abilities for your Chaos Knights, and units' weapons have the following: lethal or sustained. You just get Dark Pact, but it costs you some damned. And you can include damned units in your army. The combined points cost of such units depends on your battle size. You can take up to 500 points. So damned units is damn. Thank you, Ziggy, for the 5 gifted. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted, Ziggy. That's very kind of you. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Ziggy. That's very kind. If you've just been gifted a membership, make sure you say a huge thank you. Make sure you say a huge thank you. Make sure you join our Discord as well. You can be like Ziggy and gift a membership, or you can become a member for free over on Twitch. You can become a member for free if you become a member on Twitch using Twitch Prime. It's free every time you don't use it. You give Jeff Bezos 12 pence directly. All right? So make sure you use it. Thank you, Ziggy. Hope you're doing well, mate. It's pronounced thiefdom. It's sort of fiefdom. Anyway, you can include up to 500 points of damned units, which is basically cultists, and no damned model can be your army's warlord. Do you have to be within 6 inches of a damned unit to use this? Let's have a look. Yeah. It's probably not the most competitive option, but the pilot of a 20-foot tall demon mech fueling it on his enthralled followers is pretty hard. It is. But what if I said it didn't have to be his enthralled followers? Because the fun thing about this ability is, as we've seen multiple times in these detachments, it doesn't say your, friendly, or any. It says select one damned unit. Meaning, chat, if you are in a mirror, if you are in against Chaos Space Marines, and you are, I don't know, fighting some fucking accursed cultists, which I'm 90% sure are damned and a good unit, let's just find out. Let's just find out. Accursed cultists do so happen to have the damned keyword. That you can just start fucking blowing up opponents' accursed cultists. The old AC/DC, for those who don't know, accursed cultists and Dark Commune. Start blowing those up for lethal and sustained instead of your own. Mikey, this is why GW don't like you anymore. I don't write the rules, I just read them, alright? If they don't want to send them to me early so I can tell them the problems, that's their fault. That's not my problem, that's theirs, alright? So yes, currently Dark Sacrifice is any damned on the table. So you hope and pray you take Chaos Knights with this detachment and you are against Chaos Space Marines and they've all got AC/DC every game and you just gobble them up like you're fucking Kirby. That'll be sustained, please. That'll be lethal. Oh, don't you fucking love it every time? Every day this is happening. Something weird's coming out of it. Is that intended? I think it should be any infantry unit, you know? But now they made it damned. Speaking of, if you wanted to take yourself a little enhancement in this detachment, you could take the Profane Altar for 20 points. Each time the bearer makes a dark sacrifice, the maximum number of models are destroyed in the selected damned unit. But you get both. So you can guarantee you're killing 6 of them. You guarantee you're killing 6 of them, which is very funny. Very funny. And they've got Tyrant's Banner. Each time the bearer makes a dark sacrifice, select 1 visible damned unit instead of a damned unit within 6. You can just scoop them up from across the table. That's so funny. That's so good. Excellent. Excellent time. Here we go. Chaos Knights will only start declare battle formation state. You can select up to 3 damned units. They have Scout, okay. And then Chaos Knights model. The bearer has a 6 up feeling of pain. And you can ignore all modifiers to its move and advance and charge rolls. That's pretty good. Kind of expensive, but pretty good. Very thematic. I agree. Hungry Bert. It's great lore-wise. Balancing, who cares? Yeah, it's pretty funny lore-wise. I don't think this detachment is going to pick up anyway. But it's just, again, it's just one of those things that you read it and you go, again. I've only got to do it again. Are you suggesting that GW didn't thoroughly check and proofread these Christmas rules releases? How dare you? Yeah. They just complain when I break it and then don't talk to me beforehand. Avenge the Masters. Any phase. 1 CP. 1 Chaos Knights unit that was just destroyed. Until the end of the battle, the enemy unit that destroyed your unit is marked. Each time a damned model from your army makes an attack that targets a marked unit, that attack is lethal. Is that worth it? I don't think the damned units are doing anything, right? Are they just holding objectives? You're not actually using them for do anything fun. Small company, please understand, literally. Literally. GW doing a GW. Yeah, mate. Yeah, all the time. All the time. Wasn't written these while Josh was on holiday. Bold of this stratagem to assume the damn models aren't all already dead from being sacrificed. Yeah, like, this is just, like, not worth it. Why are you buffing? What are that? How many points are a cursed cultist? You know? But that's all you're taking, right? 195. With the Dark Commune? They are 80. I think that's all you're taking. And they lose access to Dark Pact. So that's the only way to give them lethal again. Looks like you can't expect much from a FTSE 100 company valued at over 6 billion. We need to cut them some slack. Did you see... Does anyone read the Sunday Times? And if you all say no, I'll be very proud of you. I was watching Rob's stream this morning. I was watching Rob's stream. I don't think it was published. Oh, that started very quickly. I wasn't ready for that song. I was so confused. I'm just going to pull up his stream. Full credit to Rob for finding this. In fact, I can't watch his streams back, but we'll find out. Oh, that didn't work. I can't watch it back. He found a fucking list. It was like a list of top CEOs, right? It was like a list of top CEOs. And he was saying it's like a kill list, which I thought was quite funny. Not that I condone murder, obviously. But the Kevin Roundtree was on it, and he doesn't have any pictures online, so he's just a space marine. Isn't that wild? For unrelated reasons, I do actually have this weekend Sunday Times. Can you find the list of CEOs and send a picture? There's like top CEOs or something. But it made me laugh. It made me laugh big time. It's all about giving sustained hits to a periphery and pew pew big lasers. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, shit stratagem. 2 CP, already expensive. Interesting timing by the time to share a hit list. Yeah, literally. That was the point. That was the point. It was like, yo, you're just sending out a fucking murder, death, kill. You know what I mean? 1 damned unit, excluding a cursed cultist. So that's all we're taking, so this is a shit strat already. You can use a stratagem on this unit, even if it's just destroyed. Add a new unit, identical to destroyed unit. Institute reserves, starting strength. That's pretty good, to be fair. That is pretty good. It's just a shame it's on like very limited units, because outside of Dark Commune and the Cursed Cultist, what are you really taking? You're not really taking a unit of cultists. You know? Soul Hunger. And that's 2 CP as well. It's reinforcements on limited units for 2 CP. Per current date slate also restricted to once per game. Yeah. Kind of spending. Yeah, you fuel for the fight, but they just get ripped up, right? Especially if they're coming on the board edge, they will just get ripped up. Very quickly, might I add. You can take 1 to replace the sticky objectives you lost from not using the other detachment. True. True. Yeah, it's just like, if it was 1 CP for a unit of cultists, because you can't use it on a cursed. If it was on a cursed, it'd be really good, because they're kind of annoying to kill, you can bring them back. But then everybody would be taking it. But because it is literally just a unit of cultists, so a unit of 20. They could only 1 turn, you know what I mean? A couple of bolters, you lost half a unit. Soul Hunger. Fight phase just after Chaos Knight unit from Armor's 4. That Chaos Knight unit, if 1 or more models were destroyed as a result of those attacks, your unit regains up to D3 lost wounds. If 1 or more models from the battle shot units were destroyed, you get D3 plus 2. Okay, that's decent. 50 points for battle line, 10 model cultists have sticky as well. It's still okay. I agree, but am I going to spend 2 CP to bring them back? Probably not. You know, I don't disagree that 10 cultists is not a bad pick, but am I spending 2 CP to bring 10 cultists back? No. Never. Not unless I've got 4 CP and I've already won. I get you. I know what you mean. Whenever I look at like a stratagem that I'm trying to like look at it as like, would I use this strat? Would it actually come in handy? And the answer is probably not very often. You know how much to spend a CP on? Also true. You may as well. Strat reserve as well. If it was deep strike, it'd be really interesting. It'd be like, oh, that's actually pretty wild. You know, deep striking cultists would be pretty fun, but it's strategic reserve, so it's a board edge. So probably coming on the board edge, not doing much, maybe dying on maybe grabbing an objective if it's lucky. Unrestrained Rage. Let's have a look. Just your movement page just after a Chaos Knight unit from your army advances or falls back. It's in the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge which you advance or fall back. Oh. Now with your play guard fairly regularly and they get the same strat, and the other thing is usable on of worthy sentinels. Sentinels and scions is good. That's a good strat. Advance and charge. And fall back and charge on the big knights as well is great. That's really good. That's a good strat. So the first 4, we've got one good one. They say nothing. It's got nothing on my death watch. Worthless chattel. 1 damage unit in your shooting phase. So in the phase, enemy units are not to be considered within engagement range of your unit for the purpose of selecting targets with ranged weapons. So in the phase, each time an enemy model loses a wound, while that model's unit is within engagement range on a 4+, 1 model from your unit is destroyed after the unit has finished making attacks. That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. That's a nice stratagem. Because, again, you don't care about these units. If they've wrapped you, if they've got something that stops you falling back, that strat's great because you probably don't care too much about it. But, again, if they're charging your damned units, unless you're using, like, a Cursed Cultist to, like, screen, and then you're, like, slurping them up like Kirby to make you get self-lethal or sustained. Very limited. Would love a fallback and charge on my loyal knights. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. I like the narrative options of Grotmas, but 10th edition really isn't made for narrative play. Then again, can't blame them for chucking beds to people. Whatever they do, people won't be happy. It definitely feels like weird because it's like, I think the intention was for them to all be like weirdly themed. Like, oh, this is an exclusively a Custody Dreadnought detachment, you know. This is exclusively a Death Guard Infantry Terminator detachment. But then some of them just feel like, what were you thinking? You know? Like the Thousand Suns one. What were they thinking? The only thing I can think of with the Thousand Suns one, if you don't know, chat, it basically buffs psychic weapons, but the only psychic weapons they have are on the sergeants or the characters, and sometimes weapons are psychic. The only way that Hex Warp Thrall Band works is if the rumor of the Chaos models, the Chaos Demons going into the Codex is true. Because if that's the case, that Thousand Suns detachment that buffs psychic weapons and it affects like all of your Chaos Demons as well, suddenly that's really interesting. But like, yeah, like the Necron one, it's just like, oh yeah, all the best units, they're all cracked and now they're even better. Cool. You know? So it's a bit of a funny one. Definitely a funny one. You told me that definitely was not true. I don't think it is true, but everyone's talking about it. You know, it's all everyone's talking about. It's every Facebook group I'm in. Every Chaos Space Marine group, Death Guard, Thousand Suns, World Eaters, and then the Chaos Demon group is all talking about it. I don't fucking know for a start. And 2, I don't think it'll happen, but I could be wrong. I still don't understand where they put Bellicor. But last night we were saying that is the only unit that isn't faction specific. Barring the Demon Prince, but it becomes faction specific, right? Doesn't help with Varric saying it's 100% true. He could be right. I don't personally know. But I was just saying is like, with that detachment, that is the only way it's actually good. The 2 CP reinforcement strat could be handy. Sacrifice a last couple in a unit of 20 for buffs. Pay 2 CP, then bring them in your opponent's deployment zone 3, 4, or 5 for behind enemy lines or locus. Yeah, I'm not saying it's like this is like a pointless stratagem. I'm just saying it's like way more. It's quite limiting because of the units it's on. Because the unit inherently isn't very good. This one we're referring to, by the way, chat. I don't think it's like, oh my god, why did they bother writing this? I'm just like, it's 2 CP, which is the same as reinforcements. I think reinforcements is 2 CP as well. But you can revive much better units with the guard one, like Aquilons, like Kassakin or whatever, you know. Aquilons, Scions, they've got a lot more use than like 20 cultists, which are gonna come on, they're gonna shoot some pistols and maybe get an objective. Could be clutch, it could win you a game, which is 2 CP. And you can't bring your Cursed back, which is the one you want to bring back. Chaos need more armies, not less, when you look at the numbers compared to Imperial and Xenos. Yeah, I agree. Because what? There's like max 6, max 5 Chaos armies? They're being crazy. Yeah, they've like literally got a maximum of 5 right now. 5 books. 1 for each god of Space Marine. No, 6. 1 for each god. Death Guard, Thousand Suns. That's 4. And then there's Chaos Space Marine, that's 5. Then Demons, that's 6. Like, what else can they put in there? You know? Dark Admech. Yeah. Dark Mechanicus could be a good one. You're right. Anyway, let me look at this stratagem. Preserve the idols. Your opponent's movement phase just after a unit, a normal, advance, or fallback move. 1 Chaos Knights unit that is within 9 of that enemy unit. Select 1 damned unit that is not battle shots, not within engagement range, of 1 or more enemy units, and is within 6 inches of your unit. Excuse me? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Chaos Knights is 7th. I'm so dumb. I'm literally reading Chaos Knights and I forgot. I'm literally reading Chaos Knights and forgot to add them. It's 6 or 7. 1 Chaos Knights unit from your army is within 9 inches of the unit that moved. Then you select a damned unit that is within 6 of the Chaos Knight and the damned unit can move. It's a reactive move using the damned, but it's reactive, but you have to go closer. But it has to be near a knight. Yeah, it's a weird one. It just took me a minute to read it because I was like, oh, you selected Chaos Knights unit, and then now I'm talking about damned. You know? It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky one. You can drop onto an objective with it, which is handy. You can move through the knight as well, which might be quite good if you want to do some tricks, put stuff in front. But all it does is stop you charging the Chaos Knight. The Chaos Knight doesn't usually mind being charged. The Chaos Knight just gets shot. Because the big problem with this detachment is there's no rotate and shield. That's the fucker. That's the real fucker here. What damn unit can survive a shooting phase? True. Yeah, the fucker here is that you can't deny. You don't have a rotate iron shield. Do it with the Cursed, then if they get shot at, they can tag something their reactive move. Yeah, so Cursed Cultists, the old AC/DC, their ability is Howling Horde. Each time a unit is shot, if one or more models in this unit were destroyed, it can make a Horde move. To do so, roll a d6 and this unit can be moved a number of inches to the result, but it must finish that move as close as possible. So you can send the Cursed Cultist right in. I think just losing the walk through walls is too much to take this ever. Well, the big ones can walk through walls anytime because that's just a unit rule now. But they've got the walk through walls, but if they roll a 1, they become battle shocked. Because don't forget that's a strat, which is great on the war dogs to be fair, but the big ones can just walk through willy nilly whenever they like. So that's interesting. It's a fun detachment. I like. This is quite funny. The Dark Sacrifice is quite funny that it's just any damned unit. Again, with that 5-point enhancement, you can just slurp up any accursed unit on the board, which is very fun. Again, doing a Kirby and just like... That's fun. I like that. It's kind of a fun detachment. It just feels like a lot of the stratagems are just a bit like... rubbish, you know? There's no rotate iron shields. Yeah, that's what I said. That's the problem, is there's no rotating. I think rotate should be like Armor of Contempt, to be honest. I do think rotate Iron Shield should be Armor of Contempt of the Knight's book. Every detachment should have access to it. Because not being able to rotate Iron Shield just makes any detachment just look a bit sketchy, because you're always going to be relying on your 5-up in one. So, it's fine. It's fine. It's fun. It works. It's actually fundamentally a different way to play Chaos Knights. Is it good? I don't think so. I don't think so. Taking big ones in his Chaos Knight army isn't happening. I think one is good. Maybe 2 tops. Like a Tyrant is good. Is that the combat one? Especially with Advance and Charge. Do you think Armor of Contempt should be a core stratagem? I don't think so. But I don't think I think the idea of an army having a core stratagem is a good idea. You know, like a unique one to all. This is the wrong one. A unique one to all of the army. You know, like Armor of Contempt is every Space Marine attachment has access to that. You know, maybe the Chaos Knights one should be like rotate Iron Shields. Every detachment has rotate Iron Shields. You know, maybe. I'm trying to think of like another good one, to be honest. Like all Orc detachments should have like what I don't know. You can't even fucking think of any stratagem that they all have access to. As part of the army rule. It would also just make the detachments easier to digest as well, because whenever you look at an army, you always know it's got a trick. You know, at least one of the tricks you'll always know. Orcs have Armor of Contempt as well. Okay. I'm trying to think. What's probably like a good example for each one? Like Death Guard have like Cloud of Flies. Maybe Cloud of Flies should be one that's like every army. Orcs should get access to every stratagem. Will it help Magoo though? Will that help Magoo? Probably not. The Maguna strikes again. Alright, let's have a look at Quest or Forge Pack. This is the Imperial Knights one that we've got today. So the Cog-Bound Alliance is going to be very similar to the one you've just seen, but good guys instead. Imperial Knight unit for your army have the following ability. In your command phase, one model of this unit regains 1 lost wound. If this unit is within 3 inches of one or more friendly Tech Priest models, you regain D3 instead. I am beyond your help. Why? How did you make that into an insult, Miguel? How did you make that into an insult about me? Okay, so you can be healed by Tech Priest. Already better than the Chaos Knight one. Adeptus Mechanicus units. From your army have the following ability. Each time all of this unit makes a ranged attack, reroll hit roll of 1. If that unit is within 6 inches of one or more friendly Imperial Knights units, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well. And you can take up to 500 points. You can take Dominus, Manipulus, Marshals, Skitarii Rangers, and Skitarii Vanguard. So there's already more options. Automatically here with that Tech Priest is nice. Yeah. But what you're losing is rerolling a hit and a wound roll, which is a bit annoying. So it's nice you can actually heal them, because you could just literally take one single Tech Priest. You can take one single Tech Priest, which is kind of funny, and just use him to heal. Okay, what hands? We've got 30 points to add 4 wounds. That's pretty cheeky, especially when you're healing one every turn. That is pretty cheeky, actually. Knight of the Opus Machina. Each time the bearer makes a ranged attack, if the bearer is within 6 inches of one or more friendly Mechanicus units, reroll hit roll of 1. That's good. Keeping the Adeptus Mechanicus alive is a bit annoying, because you can't teleport them or anything, because it's just ranges of Vanguard. That's pretty good, actually. No Stiltman dead detachment. Yeah, imagine you could take Stiltman. That'd be so sick, actually. Honestly, Stiltman would fix Imperial Knights. Yeah, I'm going to say it. That's a good enhancement for 20 points. It's just keeping the AdMech alive, you know? As soon as you go, oh yeah, we were only ones because of this guy behind the wall, you're just like, that guy behind the wall's about to die. That guy behind the wall is fucking the guy, Ralph. Is it Ralph? The guy from Simpsons? Or is it Ralph's kid? I'm in danger. That one. You know what I mean? Oh, you lose the feeling of pain. Oh. Okay, got that mixed up. That is also annoying. Hence, healing 1 a turn. Okay. Okay, Magos Quistoris. While the bearer, Tech Priest model, while the bearer is within 3 inches of one or more Imperial Knights unit, it has a lone operative ability. Can't keep up with him. Can't keep up with him. That's the problem. In your command phase, select one friendly Imperial Knights unit that regains up to 2 lost wounds. Okay. So you heal D3 plus 2. That's pretty good. 35 points kind of expensive. There's no way for you to keep up with the Imperial Knight. But those two together are pretty fun, but it's also 55 points. The code stuff is the army rule. Right, okay. So, not a bad one. Gaining lone operative, you're basically just a tech marine. Like Space Marine, tech marine. It's just keeping up with him this problem. Lone op is nice. Yeah, that's good. But you move 6. You know? You're all good on your advance every turn, yeah, literally. And then some dickhead turns up with the assassin detachment and just nails him one turn. Voicifer Magnificat. While enemy units with a 600 bearer worsen leadership models by 1, while friendly Adeptus Mechanicus units within 6 inches improve the leadership. That shit. Worthless. Worthless. Right, okay. Poo-poo enhancement. Top 3, pretty good. Magos Questoris is pretty good if you can keep up. That's something you have to try and figure out. Knight of the Opus Machina is good. And the Omniscient Champion is decent, but it's kind of expensive. Okay, let's have a look at these strats. Let's see if any of them are any better than the last detachment, because Jesus Christ, were they poo. Omniscia's Grace. Oh, my speakers are sizzling a bit. Any phase, just after a mortal wound is allocated to Imperial Knights or Mechanicus unit. Until the end of the phase, you have a 5+ feel of pain. Not bad. There's not much mortal wound protection for Imperial Knights. Obviously, devastating wounds are mortal wounds now, so you have a 5+ feel of pain against devastating wounds for 1 phase. That's pretty good. I'm going to quickly fix some in chat. Sorry. This streaming every day is really throwing me off because I just feel like I've got no time to check anything between days. There's no downtime between days to check things. There we go. My speakers were like buzzing a little bit. Right. Omniscient's Grace is pretty good if you're up against Eldar that just tried to snap your knight with dead wounds. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, anything big with the devastating wounds is pretty decent with this. So, situational again, but pretty good. Vengeance of the Machine Cult. 1 Imperial Knights unit from your army that is just destroyed. Until the end of the battle, that enemy unit is marked. Oh, it's the same one we've just seen from Chaos Knights. Pretty shit. Pretty shit. Bonded Imperative. Your command phase. Just before an Imperial Knights character unit from your army uses a Bondsman ability, choose that character. When selecting a target for use of that Bondsman ability, you can select 1 friendly Adeptus Mechanicus unit within 12. In addition, or instead of selecting 1 Armiger unit. In addition or instead. So you can choose an Armiger and an Admech, or just an Admech. Till the start of your next command phase, every model in that Adeptus Mechanicus unit is affected by the Bondsman ability. And you cannot target a preceptor with this stratagem. Why can't you target the preceptor? What does the preceptor do? Let's have a look. While models affected by ability, improve that model's leadership characteristic by 1, improve the model's objective control by 2. They don't want to give objective control for AdMech? What the fuck? How? Why? Why don't they want to give control 4 to a unit of 10? Rubbish. The thing is with Bondsman, it only affects that unit now. It doesn't affect the knight anymore, does it? I'm trying to look at all the Bondsman abilities. The Crusader is... Add 1 to the hit roll. Errant is gain assault, gallant, reroll charge rolls and reroll hits in combat. Great. Paladin, lethal and lance. All of these are shit. -1 damage. That's the only good one. They give him -1 damage. That is it. Maybe my speakers are out. Because they keep buzzing. It's very annoying. Alright. Machine focus time. So that strat, not amazing. I think we decided that was not amazing. 1 Imperial Knights unit from your army. To decide next turn, your unit can ignore any or all modifiers to the following: weapon skill, ballistic skill, and anything that affects hit or wound roll. That's pretty decent, but you have to use the command phase, so it's very limiting. You have to like plan ahead. But if you're going against like Custody Wardens or something similar, there's a lot of stuff that's getting, if your strength is higher than my toughness, you -1 to wound. There's a lot of that appearing. Great strat. Great strat. Aggression begets aggression. Your shooting phase, 1 Imperial Knights unit from your army, or 1 Imperial Knights character from your army, and 1 friendly Mechanicus unit. To the phase, range weapons equipped by models in your units have assault. Means you're not being bracketed. True. That was pretty good. Advantage shoot is nice. I wonder if this is the counter to the advantage charge, you know? Well, they got advantage charge, so I'll give these guys advantage shoot. We've been doing a Trench Crusade stream, or not your cup of tea. I have backed it. But I don't have the models yet. I'll look into it, though. Throne Geist Fury. Now, this is the funny one. This all says you can overwatch with one gun. This is, I feel like, it's such a scam of a stratagem. I think this one's such a scam of a stratagem, to be honest. Double Overwatch? Yeah, double Overwatch, but you can't Overwatch with the Titanic Knight anyway. And then you can only use this to Overwatch with one weapon. Yeah, big flamer on Dominus. Great time. I actually think this should just be the core rule for Overwatch. You know? Overwatch with a Titanic unit can shoot one eligible weapon. You know, because again, essentially this is because Overwatch is obviously shoot after a unit's moved, made a charge, or whatever. Oh, you can't do this on charge roll. Normal, advance, or fall back. Sets up or ends a normal, advance, or fall back move. So you can't use it on a charging unit. Interesting. But yeah, 1 Imperial Knights Titanic. Select 1 range weapon in that unit. That model can shoot at the enemy and only if it's eligible target. When doing so, that model can make attacks, so it only hits on 6. I think this should just be Overwatch, you know? Overwatch should be any unit can Overwatch. If it's a Titanic unit, it can only shoot 1 weapon. That's why I think it's a bit of a scam. It's great. on the Valiant. It's great on the Acheron. Obviously, big, massive flamers doing bollocks is great. But I think this should just be Overwatch. The rules for Overwatch. And that, if these are the rules for Overwatch, this could say rotate Iron Shield. Interesting detachment. Getting a few ads over this stream. I know. Do you remember when I went away and I made no money and I came back and I get less viewers? I'm sorry. I've got lowest amount of ads on random. If I'm not getting 10 members a day, I've got to keep running ads. That's my other problem. So yeah, if this Overwatch rule was just normal, this could say rotate Iron Shield and suddenly it's an interesting detachment. But again, because it's not got rotate, I'm a bit like, especially because this one wants you to take big knights. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure it's competitive. No, I think it's just fine. I think it's just fine. Maybe the date slate will include better invuns on knights. Maybe. If suddenly all the big knights have a 4+ invun, suddenly that's crazy. Maybe you don't need rotate Iron Shield anymore. Because I imagine if they did do that, they'd go, you can't use on a big knight. But I think that might be wild. Might be a wild hoop. So yeah, the lack of rotate Iron Shield scares me for both of these attachments. That's the real issue I've got with them. That's the real issue I've got with them, is the lack of rotate. With rotate in both of them, I'm a bit more interested. I'm more interested in the Imperial Knights one over the Chaos Knights one, to be honest. The Chaos Knights one is funny because of the scooping. But overall, I think he's still running the original ones. I like it's a recent Battle Force purchase. It makes me want to go get some Skitari. Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun. I want my headphones on because the buzzing's really annoying me. I need to fix that. No, it's been fine all day. And then suddenly now, being shit. The Chaos Knights one feels worse because you're effectively paying points to take a resource, so you might lose to getting shot anyway. Yeah. And you're kind of having the same problem with the other one, with the AdMech. Because if the AdMech go down, you're just playing a worse game than everyone else. You're just playing a much worse game than everyone else, which is super annoying. But, like someone said on Twitch, who was it? 29 Wound Lancer is pretty funny. A 29 Wound Lancer can be pretty funny. Yeah, Hungry Burp. Okay. So my overall thoughts, they're fine. They're not great. They're not awful. They're not like unplayable like the Thousand Suns one. But they're down the bottom, you know? If I made a tier list today, they're down low, bro. So, chat. Listen. There was a comment on my Discord the other day from Zap. Okay. And it was an interesting comment. We're moving on to the next section. If you don't know, I'm about to talk about how the game isn't that broken anymore. It's actually perfectly fine. But really, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of 40k. Like, is it actually good? So get your opinions ready. Get your opinions ready, baby. So Zap came out with something really great the other day, really insightful about 40k. Okay, in our Discord, Discord in chat, or there's a link in the description. It's a great place to be. Okay, here's the comment, and it got me thinking. It got me wondering. I hear a lot of complaint about the fact that Warhammer is now like a modern video game in that it releases in a broken state and is patched later. But the design team surely hasn't collectively hit their heads in the last 5 years. I bet 7/8 was just as broken, but because it didn't get fixed, casual players didn't have to know it was broken. So they felt like it must have been fine if it wasn't being fixed. Like I remember in 9th edition, armies I was looking at were sitting at 30% of win rates, and now everything is solidly, consistently above 40, which is really impressive. You've got to wonder if these people would have been genuinely happier playing in Wraith Lord Knight meta the whole edition. Maybe 40k needs 2 official game modes. One is like Codex compliant, the other is only war. In the first one, you play with just the rules in the Codex, or maybe it's stupid to split the player base, but it seems like it might be nice for casual players to build lists every 3 years for a consistent meta. Okay. An interesting comment, I would say. And a very interesting comment. And it got me thinking. It really got me thinking. Is 40k any good? Is 40k good? Is it actually good, or are we just coping? Okay. And I made a lot of notes. I've got a lot to talk about. Okay. I've got a lot to talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my little MS Paint out. Okay, I'm going to get my little MS Paint out. And we're going to do what I like to call, very famously, okay, that wasn't in the middle. That wasn't in the middle. What I like to call pros. I don't know why I put an apostrophe. Pros and cons. It's going to be a long night, chat. Okay. Is 40k any good? Pros and cons, baby. Alright? Because, like, ultimately, everybody wants 40k to be good, you know? Nobody's sitting here waiting for the downfall of 40k, unless you're like, I don't know, just like avid hater who just hate watches all content ever. Just the biggest hate watcher, and I respect it. But like, everybody wants 40k to be good, but the issue is that the game releases and then everybody is usually immediately waiting for a balanced patch, you know? Like, because I've been watching a lot of videos about, like, games and, like arena games, platform games and stuff like that, platform fighters and stuff. I've been watching videos about those. And there's a lot of people, like... I feel like a lot of the conversation could be directly transferred to our game as well. It's just the medium's just shit for it. But essentially what happens is if something comes out and then a balance patch comes out straight away, you know, like Aquilons came out, you know, they were really good. Then they went, Warhammer World Championships went, oh, actually, you can't Rapid Ingress 3, you know. A unit comes out, it's insanely cracked, and then they go, actually, here's a patch, you know. So things come out, everyone gets really excited for it, but then instantly, a lot of the time, things come out, everyone's excited for it, and it needs an update because it's broken. You know, it's not broken as in like, there's things that probably shouldn't work that do. There's things that I like to point out that work but probably shouldn't. We've seen it with the AdMech detachment, where you can, all the best abilities for the AdMech's Halo Screed battle detachment is for an Imperial Knight because it can work. Just seen it with Chaos Knights. It can scoop up damned units to get Dark Pact. It doesn't say it has to be friendly. It probably needs changing, you know. And the thing is with 40k is whilst we all love it, everybody bitches about it, you know. Everybody complains, everybody has an issue, everybody doesn't like a certain faction, everybody does, like, you know, just like gets angry at it. We make videos about it, we point things out about it, you know. There's loads and loads of dumb shit that happens in 40k, you know, like rules-wise. Like on the table, shit that, like interactions that just like are dumb. And there's complaints about it, and for right reason, because it's like, it's crazy. Some of it's just crazy, you know? You know, some of it is just actually crazy. The record for nerfing occurrence before it even comes out. Yeah, so obviously, like, with Votan the first time, they nerfed them before they were even properly released. They're still in the FOMO box. So yeah, pros, okay? What's good about 40k? 40k pros. Okay? Deathwatch Index was nerfed before the edition drops. That's true. That's true. We're going to write that in cons. Okay? Pros. Hellstormwargaming. I'm joking. You're so right to say that, though. Very real for that. Appreciate it. Pros. 40k is fun. Okay? Okay? 40k is fun. Whilst we all complain, we have to remember the core thing. It's fun and accessible. Kinda. You know? It's fun and accessible. Okay? By accessible, I mean you can pick it up quite quickly, you know? You're not going to be very good, but it's not like you just buy the army, you buy them all. You do actually, if you think about it, core when you think about 40k, right? Is that it's accessible in a way that you can literally go into a shop, buy all of the models you like of a certain army, right? And you can run a list, you know? You can't just run that list. It won't be very good. It won't synergize. It won't work. But, like, when it comes to, like, list building and stuff like that, it's, like, so easy, you know? Writing a good list and writing a list are very different. When you are writing a list to just put models on the board, very easy, okay? Buy whatever you want. You need one character. You're off to the races, you know? That's it. That's all you need. That is the barrier to entry. If you want to talk about money, yeah, money does make it inaccessible, you know, because Warhammer is expensive. But you can 3D print it, you can borrow your mates, you can proxy it, it's fine, you know. But actually, like, playing the game, if you have access to the rules, which is a con, okay. If you have access to the rules, it's really simple to follow it along, you know. I would think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys in chat can, like, call me out in anything I'm saying with pros and cons. If you think I'm wrong, then please do say. You know, it's very easy to buy models, to build them and play games. It's very easy to find games as well with 40k because it's quite big. So, like, the fact that it's, like, popular compared to like a lot of other tabletop games. I play a lot of tabletop games. Obviously, 40k, you can pick up a game at any game store, you know? Pretty much no matter where you go, you're going to be able to pick up a game, okay? And the thing is with it as well, it's, like, fun and accessible. It's, like, easy to play. It's easy to pick up. You kind of have a rough idea of, like, I move stuff to kill stuff and I stand on circles. That is just 40k. You know? The thing is with it is that the depth of 40k is not that it's hard to play or not accessible. The depth is decision making, you know? So, like, the thing is with it is you can play shit and you're going to lose. That's fine. The skill in Warhammer is decision making. You know? So, like, the difference between a good player and a bad player is a good player will make the right decision at the right time, whereas a bad player will make decisions, but they might not necessarily be good decisions, and they might be poorly timed, you know? It might be like, I might send a unit in too early. I might reveal my trick too early against an unoptimized unit. I might shoot a unit where I should have shot this unit. I might deep strike and charge over here when I should have done it, and maybe stayed on this objective. That's what, like, breaks up, like, a good player and a bad player, is, like, the decision making. and knowing the right time to make those decisions and making the right decisions, you know, which is like, that's like the hard bit of 40k. That's like top level 40k. If you're making bad decisions and making wrong decisions, you're still playing, you know? It's still straightforward to play. You're still playing the game. You're just making bad decisions. But that doesn't mean you're having a bad time, because it's fun, you know? You get to move stuff around, you get to kill stuff, and to make your tank noises, you know? So the other thing is with it as well is like armies are varied, you know? Army variety. Okay. Army variety is like a huge one, because like, as someone who does play a lot of other games, sometimes you can find that armies feel very similar. Now, will say in 40k right now, with all the Grotmus detachment releases, a lot of armies feel like they're getting very similar stratagems, just with a different name, such as if your strength is higher than my toughness, you are -1 to wound, such as just an straight up advanced charge, such as when you move, you can move horizontally through terrain, you know, like just like a couple of examples of, it feels like a lot of armies getting the same abilities, but like when it comes to like raw data sheets, a lot of the time, I don't think a lot of the time, I think the armies play like they should, you know. We actually did a whole tier list on this, like last week, where we went through and we kind of said, like, does an army play like it should on the tabletop? There's only a couple that don't, you know. There's only a couple of armies that, like, don't feel like they should, but they feel different, where if you're going into it, you know, kind of like Magic the Gathering, if you know you're playing a certain army, you know it's like a certain play style. You know, like if I said you're gonna play a blue deck in Magic, if you play Magic the Gathering, you know you're playing like a control deck. You know, doesn't matter what cards are in it, doesn't matter like when you're playing. Usually, if you're playing blue, it's like control. When you're playing Admech in this instance, you're playing swarm control. You know, it's not necessarily how Admech play, but no one else plays like that. You know, if you're playing Space Wolves, you're playing Wolf Jail, which is like a very quick, very tough army that locks you in your deployment zone, you know? Not many other armies really do that. And every army does feel very, very different, which is nice, you know? Before I carry on, I'm just going to quickly catch up with chat, because I feel like we made some good progress. There's my pros and cons so far. I love playing 40k and generally don't care about the outcome. It's fun to play games with friends and meet new people. Exactly, that's obviously a pro, right? You know, fun, accessible, popular. The thing that makes 40k feel broken is losing the game first starts by bringing bad things, which we'll get onto. Yeah. Can I immediately ruin your pro-con list by saying that one that people will disagree in which column it belongs in is it's regularly updated? Yeah. That goes in the middle. We got the middle. That's why we write those. Write that in a different colour. Fun lists and good lists are not the same thing. No, for sure. There will always be a game group that plays it, even in a moderately sized community. Yeah, for sure. The problem is that list building is dead. People just net deck from the internet, which leaves everyone and their mum feeling like they have a meta list. For sure. 100p. 100p. So my next pro is like most being the key word. Okay. Most armies are balanced. You know? Most armies feel pretty balanced, you know. They all feel unique, and most of them are relatively balanced. Everyone knows there's some problem armies on both ends of the spectrum, you know. There are problem armies. But overall, recently, I do think, props where it's deserved, Games Workshop have been doing a really good job of taking armies and balancing them. The internal balance of an army is really shit a lot of the time. And I think that's what the Grotmus detachments should be doing, but aren't doing a lot of the time, is the internal balance of making all units viable, or all units having a place in an army being good is not there right now. But the overall army faction, if you are taking the best list from a book, from a codex, from an army, and playing them against all the other best lists in the game, usually you'll find that, like, they're pretty balanced. Don't get me wrong, you know, like, because sometimes you can just have, like, a custody player, let's say, only rolling 4-ups and winning a whole world championship, you know, even though custody bad. Don't forget that. We just had that 2 weeks ago. That's the only reason he won, obviously, is because he rolled 4-ups. I'm saying this sarcastically. I put a whole video about the custodies out a week ago. You can play Imperial Guard and be a knobhead with the Quillons, you know what I mean? And just, like, they are a little bit broken. Or you can just, like, play GSE and, like, lose most of your army, bring it all back on a 5-up, and then just win anyway. And just, like, do all the tactical objectives all for fun. But most of the armies, outside of, like, a couple, are, like, pretty well balanced. They all, like, pretty, like, work together. Which is not something that we had in 7th edition. In 7th edition, it was just fucked. In 7th edition, nothing got changed, okay? There were no FAQs, there were no points update. Whatever was in your codex, whatever it said, that was used. There was multiple homebrew FAQs, such as the ETC, the England team, the European Team Championship, which is now essentially the WTC, because they broke off. There's the ITC that was starting to come in, but it wasn't very popular in the UK. So what you found is loads of different, like, circuits of tournaments were all using homebrew FAQs, updates, or whatever. So every tournament felt different, and there was no balance. There was no balance whatsoever. Whatever they wrote in the book, that was it. You know, they had fucking Wraith Knights dropped 100 points because they were new on the production, because Games Workshop used to make models in cycles. They used to be like, right, this month we're making this on this machine. And just before an Eldar Codex came out, they dropped the Eldar Wraith Knight by 100 points so people could buy 5 rather than 4, you know? There was no balance. They were purely trying to scrape money because they were a shit company. And now, I do honestly think, personally, heart of heart, I do think they are trying to bring balance to it. Are they doing a great job? I think they could do a lot more, personally. You know, but they are doing a job, and things do move, you know. That's why there's an update every 3 months, you know. That's why it's an FAQ every other week. That's why it's a change here and there all the time. It's because they are trying. And I do think, heart of hearts, they've got the heart in the right place, you know. But I think they're trying to balance, like, throwing off all the casual players and appeasing the competitive players, and just juggling. Which is, again, it's just one of those things, you know. And then the tournament gaming community. The tournament community is great, you know. I think it gets a lot of shit, you know. Tournament community is super well connected, which is really cool. You know, the tournament community is super well connected. Everybody kind of, like, knows each other. Everybody really knows what's going on, and I think that's definitely of the times good thing, not necessarily a con. Of the times of, like, everybody, like, media outlets for 40k, as, like, a YouTube channel like myself or any other YouTube channel, put out consistent, like, I wouldn't say well analysed all of the time, but they put out consistent content telling you what's going on. Everyone knows who won last week. Everyone knows who are the good players. Everyone knows which are the good armies. And that's like a good pro, okay? That's a good pro, I would say. I think the tournament community is pretty well typed bunch, which is cool, and it's very welcoming a lot of the time as well. Internal balance is shot for a lot of factions. Yeah, for sure, that's definitely a con. I think the basic issue with all the things you said, the biggest mark for the con column, the refusal to go 100% digital. But for sure, I agree. My favourite gaming experience are at tournaments, good sportsmanship, fun times, good times. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So a lot of the time at a tournament, you're going to have a good time, because most of the time people just want to play games. Not everybody uses a tournament for like being the best and winning, right? Most of the time, a lot of the vibe of a tournament is just like, I want to play 5 games on the weekend and have some beers with my mates, you know? The problem I find with tournaments, not necessarily a con, so I'm not going to write this down. A lot of the time you can find with tournaments is people don't manage their expectations. You know, they go to win and they play people who are super casual, and the casual players are a bit like, I'm just here to play 5 games with my mates. You know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And then you got people like being a mega tryhard, you know. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen, you know. That's like, it can be annoying, you know. Whether I think you had to go up to a table and work out someone's vibe and bounce off that. You know, you can't just be like, I am here to win. I am not going to be talking to you. I'm going to be moving my models or rolling my dice. You're going to roll your saves, okay? Because you just come across as a knobhead. And you are. It feels like the tournament scene is on the cusp of exploding popularity. It is the biggest it's ever been, you know? It is 100% the biggest it's ever been right now, which is great. Which is great, you know? You also get people at tournaments who spend every week smashing up their mates in a harsh reality check against good players at an event. 100%. So there's like the thing is with it, you're playing random strangers, and random people are very different a lot of the time, you know? So like, people need to remember that when they go into a game. That they're like, you're not playing your mates who you've been playing all the time, and you can't plan for every outcome. That's like the hard bit because of the decision making, you know? You've done all the decision making against your mates. You've got great at making decisions against your mates, but someone else might not make that, you know? So cons of Warhammer. There's some very big overarching ones, you know? Digital rules, I agree. You know, 3-year cycle, I agree. You know, bit annoying, okay? But on a game level, I'm going to try and avoid those. We might bring those up back at the end, but like, yeah, like, they should do digital rules. I totally agree. I find it annoying that you have to buy a £30 credit to get a code to get the rules in your app. Super dumb. I agree that the 3-year cycle is super annoying because all it does, it just makes you buy a rulebook every 3 years. It makes you buy a new codex every 3 years. It just keeps you on a cycle, which is like super expensive. Because that's the other thing as well. 40k is mega expensive. These three things I totally agree with. They are overdone though. We have all heard it. I don't know how to change it. I don't know how helpful it's going to add to the con or me adding to that conversation. So I'm going to write them down, but I'm not going to elaborate on them because we all know where we are. Spenny. I don't know what that was. Spenny. Digital. And what was the other one? 3 years. I should put them in a line. Spenny. Digital. And then 3 year. So just for reference, I want to make sure it's super clear. I 100% agree with these three statements. I just can't add anything new to it, so I'm going to gloss over it. Okay. Con people like Nile play. I agree. So a con, whilst I said everything feels fairly varied, I do think a con is everyone having the same abilities but different flavor text. So ability duping, let's say. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put that in a con. I'm going to put it in the middle, you know? I'm going to put it here. In the middle. Ability duping. And by this I mean, like I've already mentioned, you know, is that with all of these attachments that are coming out, everybody's getting like over strength over toughness, -1 to wound. You know, everyone's getting teleport through walls. Everyone, it's feeling like a lot of armies with these attachments, but just in general, are getting like the same rules, but they've just got like a different name or a different flavor text, but the rule is the same, essentially, you know, which is like, which is a bit annoying because that starts affecting army variety. You know, but like when I mentioned army variety, I think the data sheets do a really good job of capturing the vibe of an army. And again, we did a whole stream where we talked about the vibes of army, whether they captured the essence of an army or not. The good thing, which is why I put it in the middle rather than one side, of ability duplication, is we have a lot of common terms that are coming into the game, which aren't real, but they make sense when you say them. If I say, he's got uppy downy, you know what that means, you know? You know what uppy downy means? It means the unit's going to disappear off the board and come back down the next turn. If he's got, if I just say like fight on death, 4 fight on death, you know what that means, you know? If I say he's got teleport, he's got walk through walls, you know what that means. It means you've got a stratagem that's going to allow a unit to move horizontally through terrain and ignore enemy models, you know? If he's got the Warden ability, you know that's going to be -1 strength if it's over my toughness, you know? So it's kind of like good that there are rules that are similar for when we are playing so we remember what things are, you know? Because that means we only have to remember one rule, or like one instance of a rule, and we know what that means, you know? We know what uppy downy means when we say it. But the problem is, another problem with that is that there are so many rules that all have a different name, and if you aren't clued in to the made-up terms for it, you've got to learn, you know? And there's no, like, central resource of what all these random little terms mean. It's just everybody in the tournament community collectively knows, and that creates a little barrier to entry, you know, I think, personally, which is a little bit of a weird one. It loses flavour, and everyone starts feeling the same when it comes to stratagems, but it's easy to pick up. But then you need to know the lingo, which is like, there's no like generic lingo. There's no dictionary for 40k when it comes up to made up things. They have special rules, and like they have like a special rule chart for like weapons and stuff, you know, and deep strike, etc. But then they've got loads of rules that are all the same rule, but they all have got different names where they could just be like, this unit has X, you know? This unit has XYZ, you know, like for example, objectives secured on intercessors, right? It's sticky objectives, which again, sticky objectives isn't a term come up by Games Workshop. It's a term that's coined by the community because it kind of makes sense what it does, because it's literal. We have literal names of this. We actually had a discussion at this at All Stars. We were like having this conversation over dinner, you know. That isn't a real rule. It's not a real rule name, but you know what that means. And the problem is Games Workshop could have a real rule where it's literally like intercessors, you know, stoic dudes. That's the name of the rule. And the rule is this unit has objective secured, you know, or they don't even have an ability. And it just says objective secured in the unit abilities. And objective secured is you hold this objective even if you've got no models on it, you know. That could be a rule that they have, but no, they've decided to reprint every rule in loads of different books that's all the same with a different name. And that's just dumb. You know, that is just dumb. Because you could have generic stratagems, and then you go 1 CP, or like generic stratagem ideas, not everybody can use them, like strength over toughness, and be like, you know, like fucking powerful might. My faith is my shield. You know, and you have 1 CP, this unit gains my faith is my shield ability, you know. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, there's a core rule book with all the core rules in it, with all the core special rules, and all the terminology, and it's all the same throughout the armies. Could just be reprinted there, rather than having to type it out again, you know. I feel like I'm blowing this up way more than I should, but that is one thing that annoys me about 40k. Is they have universal special rules, they have universal keywords, and then choose not to bother when it comes to abilities. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm moving on, okay? That's annoying. That annoys me. Right, okay. The other thing that annoys me is the cheesy shit, okay? The cheesy shit. I kind of broke this into 2 parts, but I'm gonna bring it down into 2. Into 1, okay? It's a con. Cheese. Okay, I do a lot on this channel of pointing out things that are broken, okay? And the thing is with it is, like, when we talk about it, people don't look at it and go, yo, that's really broken, you know? Yo, that's really broken. It's that people just go out and buy it. And they buy as many as possible, you know? Everyone is always fishing for that really cheesy concept, that really cheesy build, that new unit, that new combo, that new whatever, and they just spam it as much as possible, and it's super annoying, okay? People just spam broken shit, and by broken I just mean extremely strong. Okay, people just spam the shit, but they're not good at Warhammer. They're not good at the game. They're not good at the fundamentals of like decision making. They're just good at buying the models they need to break and do, because it beats the last one. You know, it's not that they've got better at Warhammer. They just buy the new shit, and that just so happens to beat the last shit a lot of the time. You know, and as a good player, it can be like really annoying to deal with, having to deal with all the cheesy shit. Because you don't lose because you lost fair and square. It's because you sometimes you can just lose because it's fucking broken and stupid. You know, it doesn't function the right way. It doesn't add to the playstyle. It's just like, oh, you've got this really broken shit, right? Okay, I've either got to tech for the broken shit, or I've got to tech for like what all the good players are actually playing. You know. And it's like, the reason this happens is because the tournament community, which is a pro, which is great, but the problem is everyone's way more connected now, is that as soon as you see a tournament finish, you know who's won, you know, and you also know exactly what they were using, and you also know like the combos that work, because obviously because I think 40k is accessible. You know, because it's accessible and easy to understand, and there's so really good tournament community, and there's loads of media outlets like myself talking about broken shit, and there's loads of like channels that talk about like new lists that are coming out, you know, or new lists that have just done really well. It spreads way faster than ever before. Linking it back to the conversation about 7th edition is that you didn't know what was good because there weren't many media outlets telling you what was good, you know? You relied on, like, Chinese whispers. You relied on, like seeing it happen at a tournament, hearing from a friend who went to a tournament, you know? And the thing is with it is, like, and also at that time, is because you had so many different metas because of all the FAQs, because of none of the balance, is that what worked in one country didn't necessarily work in another, you know? And sometimes it's leading to, like raising the whole bar, raising the playstyle. And I do think, on the whole, a lot of it is raising the bar, you know, like the joy, the collective consciousness of 40k is that, like, the bar is being raised of how good some people are, you know? When you look at people like Art of War, when you look at people like Team England, they are getting better, you know? But what's being accelerated is also people thinking they're good at Warhammer, just buying all the broken shit and being like, and just trouncing the mates with it, okay? Which is like, you know? And it's just like, because there's better coverage, people know what the broken shit is, and then they just go and buy it, you know? No matter how many hours they put into it, no matter how many games they've had, how many practice games they've had, you know, people, including myself, because I've done it in the past. I'm not fucking high almighty about this, but I'm just a bit like, you know, people spam the broken shit and do well. Like, how many times have you come up against someone who just so happens to have whatever came out last week, whatever came out 2 weeks before, and just like absolutely handed your ass to you, when before with a different army they just like got trounced, you know? Like, how many times does that happen? And I think that happens way more than you realize. You know, I think that happens like way more often than it should, in my opinion, because it should be a battle of skill and decision making, not necessarily, oh, I'm running the most broken shit. God, that brief period where Desolation Marines were the only one in that box was bad for that. Yeah. Last time I went to, I faced 3 guard players who all had 18 Bullgrin. How are those Space Wolves coming on? Listen, Jay, shut the fuck up. All right? The thing is with it is, as I've said, the barrier territory is really low, but the corny bullshit stuff, you know, the shit that is just like inherently undercosted or inherently like just broken And broken as in just really strong and just shouldn't be a thing. And we all know, Aquilon's being an example, we all know they need fixing, but everyone is already running 30, you know. Everyone's spamming corny shit, and it's ruining the experience, which is increasing the barrier to entry to tournaments because people are coming up and just getting like, oh, sorry, mate, this unit is really broken, actually. You know, it's not like, oh, we had a close game and there was decision making and it was like up to the skill of the players. It was one guy brought 30 Quilons and one guy didn't, you know. And it just makes it stale. You know, it can make things stale, like we saw with like Harlequins when every event was being won by Harlequins with all the boats. You know, when they came out, it's like with Custodes. I do think we've had it less now, but only now, because look at the beginning of the edition when everyone had spray painted Wraith Knights. You know, look at the start of the edition, everyone was spamming Wraith Knights. So like cheese spamming and everyone just picking up the same list is super shit. Is shit because there's less innovation, you know what I mean? Even like the best players in the world, even the best players in the world are just spamming the broken shit. They're not like coming up with new concepts. It's just, sadly, and it's not their fault, I'm not criticizing them. You know, I'm not criticizing anyone with this instance. It's the fact that it can happen, which is annoying. And it's up to the devs to fix it. It's up to the game developers to actually fix this, not us as a community to be like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't spam the broken shit. The problem is the broken shit exists, you know? The broken shit shouldn't exist. You know, look at, like, John Lennon with Guard, right? It's 30 Quilons and some Demolishers. You've seen that everywhere. You've seen that list on the table. It's not a new, innovative list. John plays it better than most people. He beats most people with it. Even in a mirror match, he wins probably 90% of the time against most players. But it's not innovation, you know. It's just the obvious shit that you take. And that's like annoying, you know. That's the problem. That's the problem with cheese, is it shouldn't exist, because all it does is it makes your best players play all the same shit that everyone else is playing, because it's super obvious which everyone is buying, you know. I thought John Lennon was dead. No, he plays 40k now. Feels a bit paid to win when we keep getting broken stuff in large box sets like that too. Exactly. And it's just dumb because Games Workshop don't even making the money of it, because people just break it up and profit from it anyway. It's one of my favourite Warhammer streamers. Hey dude, how you doing? Refuse to play competitive Warhammer, can't relate. That time I went to a tournament and fought the LGT winning list that year 3 times. Yeah, exactly. It's just so annoying, you know? It's really annoying. It's when someone shows up with a new hotness, chasing the meta, and it's barely painted. I stick to Custodians and Marines now. I want to be competitive and physically calm, but well painted. Yeah, it's just like super frustrating coming to the table and being like, oh, you're running the Lenin list, you know? Oh, you're doing this. It's just like, it's net listing. And it's like, you should net list. I don't think you shouldn't let net list, but a net list isn't built on this is a really cool play style and I really enjoy it and I've got really good with it. It's this army is really good because I've got these 3 units and I've got these 3 units, you know, a lot of the time. Like, for example, the guard, every good guard list is 30 Quilons and it's 30 fucking 3 Demolisher Cannons, you know, and some Bullgrain. All right, there's every guard list you've played. Every guard list, why not? You know? How are those Space Wolves enjoying those Grey Knights you bought? What are you trying to imply? What are you trying to imply, bro? You know? I'm not saying it's the player's problem. I'm saying it's the problem is it exists. That it can happen. You know? Spam isn't the problem. It's the bad rules interaction or the cheap points that make them overtuned that is the problem. You know? There's no ingenuity because everyone goes for the same stuff because it's so obvious what the same stuff is. you know? And that is a problem with internal balance as well, you know, which is tied to internal balance. The idea that units, certain units in books are just way better and you can only really build one list, you know? Don't either play hate the game. I do. This is about 40k. It's about 40k as a whole. I'm not calling anyone in particular out. You know, go buy the cheesy shit because sometimes it feels like it's the only way you can win because some other dickhead is using their cheesy shit as well. Can't read it. I don't care. I'm exaggerating my point. But my name is glad I've never been able to compete at that level at no time. Yeah, the thing is with it is like, I think there's a lot of good things that happen in 40k, but there are some problems. Making writing pay like his pirate software thought. I am, yeah, literally. Hard to internally balance an army when they barely release anything for it. Looking at you custodians who've got one character this edition. Not my fault it's Codex Wardens and Blade Champ. No, it's not your fault. It's just fucking annoying. You know? It's not your fault. It's just fucking annoying. If you ask me out of Folger and Lennon, Folger was a far better player. Do you mean like in that instance? Or just in general? Because I think in general, probably not. He took a non-meta list and made it to the finals. Objectively harder than taking a meta list to the finals. I wouldn't say Custodians completely aren't meta, but I think it's not the list, you know? You look at Guard now, before Bowser's Data Slate, whatever it's going to be, that's the list, you know? Con, when you go to tournaments, sometimes you meet cool people who become friends and they live in other countries so you never get to hang out. That is a con. That is a big con. None of my Tawny friends can find copies of the Pariah Nexus mission deck. That's true. That Custodian's meta list, wasn't it? It was the best, probably the best Custodian list you could write. So in that instance, you could say, yeah, it's the best. It's a meta Custodian list. But I think what Jace was saying is that, like, Custodians weren't favourite to win. I think Guard were favourite to win. Does every faction have cheesy shit? A lot of the time, yeah. I think Folding Ideas, White's route to stuck at World of Warcraft sort of relax with this. It does. It does. I've been watching a lot of content recently about, like, video games, and this, like, yeah, this is where a lot of this is coming from, and it just kind of, like, it, like, flicked a switch in my head, I think, almost. It almost, like, flicked a switch in my head to be like, yo, all of these problems that other games are having are happening in 40k as well. A lot of the time, it's also an issue because people have to play the game the right way, aka taking net lists instead of figuring it out for themselves. 100p. 100%. Exactly the same, Oscar. Again, a lot of what I'm talking about here has been directly influenced by videos like that, about videos analysing different games. You know, because I'm a gamer at heart. I don't always play Warhammer. I do like games. Custodians haven't had any innovation since really the start of the edition. It's been 2 Gladius and Warders for ages. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What other cons do I have? What other cons do I have? Okay. This one's a big one. This is a big one. The con of Warhammer is the online community. And this is where I complain about Reddit for 30 minutes. You know what it says. That'll do. The online community. Jesus Christ. They hate me. Now, this isn't exclusively a conversation about me. But God, am I a prime example? Because they can be so fucking annoying. Because they get annoyed at any critique or any comments or any ideas or any concepts unless it's from designated people that they online decide together from their little short list of we only listen to certain people and no one else is allowed to criticize it because you're just wrong. Even though a lot of the time you're right and all you're doing is trying to like spread that message, make people aware, make people have the conversation around it. You know, I have a prime example of posting a question about whether 40k is too complex and everyone being like, you know what, it is kind of complex, but the way I worded it was a big paragraph so people read it. As soon as I post a video of being like, hey, I've analysed all your conversations and had a chat about it, I think 40k is too complicated, all the comments and all the downvotes is like, no it's not, it's fucking easy. You know, no it's not, it's fucking sick. All right, how dare you have any comment, you know? And it's like, without all these content creators, you know, like myself, like other channels, you know, like, you know, Allspec Tactics or whoever, you will struggle to keep up with 40k. You'll struggle to keep up with the cheesy shit because of the online cycle, because of the tournament community. Because all we do is we talk about the interesting things that are happening around the community. We talk about the broken shit. And sometimes, you know, sometimes we talk about the broken shit to be like, yo, this is really funny, that's really broken. And sometimes we're like, yo, this is really broken, watch out for it. And then there's just people just fucking, like, just have a go at me, being like, how dare you? How dare you have an opinion? Don't you dare ever talk about my army again. And it happens. It happens all the time. For example, I jokingly said, I want to get Deathwatch nerfed again. You know? Jokingly said, I'm gonna get Deathwatch nerfed again because I'm talking about the Deathwatch fucking attachment. Don't play Deathwatch, just stop. As a person who got into Deathwatch in 10th, in the kindest way, I say, don't you fucking dare. Like I have any control. Like I have any control over the balance of 40k, okay? They don't fucking like me, they don't give a fuck about me, okay? I mean, they do a little bit. They do kind of respect me. But the point is they don't come to me for balance advice. They don't come to me and be like, yo, Mikey, what's broken? I just talk about it because someone is using it in your local game store. I talk about it because someone just won a tournament with it, you know? Or I go and prove it and I go, this shit's really broken, watch this, okay? I can say, don't you fucking dare. I just got them back. Haven't even been able to play with them IRL yet because of the abuse done to them. I didn't do anything to Deathwatch. I just played them when everything was really broken and they balance patched everything all over. All right? Minute to minute Cycling Pod. You are coming in at the worst time. You're coming in at the worst time. I'm hating all the online community. You're also in front of a heartwarming thumbs down. Yeah, I am. A thumbs down and a heart react. Deathwatch nerfed again. Yeah, literally. Because everyone plays me. If you search Hellstormwargaming Deathwatch on Reddit, it's loads of comments, people hating me, because one time I won a tournament with them and made a video about it. I can't believe you pointed out all this broken stuff. It was going to get changed anyway. Alright? It was going to get changed anyway. It wasn't me personally. I was just a symptom of the problem that they already knew it about. You know? And it's just like, oh, it just makes me so mad. Because it's like, again, it's like, only certain people allowed to have an opinion on Reddit. Only certain people allowed to say anything on stuff like Reddit. And that's like a really big problem because it's just full of gatekeepers, you know? And it is. I think it is just full of gatekeepers on places like Warcom. I really like visiting there because I like reading the comments. But if you get involved and say such and such said this and it's not off their approved tier list of channels, it's just like, no, downvote, off you go. You know? It's just like, they don't like criticism unless it's from like exclusive people, even if the criticism is correct. You know, that's a problem I have with the 40k community sometimes, is you can post it anywhere. I'm using Reddit as an example. They aren't the specific example, But like, they aren't the only problem, sorry, but it's just like any community, you can go in and be like, let's say you go into the fucking guard group, right? The guard Facebook group, and you go, yo, I think Aquilons are actually really broken. Everyone will be like, no, they're so good. Don't be stupid. They're not actually that broken. They're actually overcosted. I think they should be a little bit cheaper, and actually they'd be fine. And then it's like, if someone comes in, like, Art of War or Spectacular, or someone comes in and say, yo, I think Aquilons are broken. I was like, so brave. You're so brave for saying that. Well done. Well done, everyone. You got this. You got this. It's just weird. It's just weird. And it annoys me. I think, like, the online, because of that, like, even taking me out the equation, just saying it in general, okay, because of that, it just leads to gatekeeping. Someone will come in and be like, yo, I've got a list idea. What do you reckon? You know, and everyone's like, oh, actually, on Art of War, they said this was shit. You know, this isn't against Art of War, by the way. Just an example. Actually, Art of War said this army's really shit and this unit's really shit, so why have you got one? You know? And it's not that, like, yo, I think this is really interesting, or yo, I think this might be a better idea. It's like, actually, that unit's shit. Take it out of your list right now and just never play Warhammer again until you got the other unit. It's just like, it's just so, it's so exhausting, I think. I think it's just so exhausting. It's so frustrating. Because ultimately, I want the game to be good, you know? That is all I want. I want the game to be good. I want the game to be accessible. I want people to have fun. I want all of this to be gone. As we spoke about, I don't like this. It's the problem, in my opinion, with the game, you know? And it's like, the game can be good. And I believe they can make it good. I do believe they've got a little bit of an uphill climb, you know? And it's like got a little bit of an uphill climb, but like, I do think the game can be really sick. My only other problem is there's no fucking, when it comes to like coverage, there's no fucking POG emoji. No POG. POG 0. Because the game's too fucking long. The game is too long. Okay. The game takes too long, and there's no mega exciting moments, which is trying to be a viewer of it, but trying to be a producer of the content is shit. There's no game highlights, you know? You know, like you watch basketball and LeBron James shoots from fucking 4 light years away and he makes it. That's sick. You don't get that in Warhammer, and that annoys me. I don't know how they do that. That is a con, in my opinion. You know? That is a con. It's 3 hours of, as a viewer, it's 3 hours of nothing, and then someone wins. You know? 3 hours of people moving, a couple of things happening, and then it's like, done. That monolith going in the deployment zone is a highlight. That was a gotcha, and that is a con as well. Alright? That was another problem. Gotchas. Gotchas are super fucking annoying. Gotchas are super fucking annoying. Someone saying, oh, I'm going to block 9, and you not saying, oh, I actually need strike 3 with this, don't forget. Actually bullshit. That's my hot take. There was that time I rolled a Yahtzee of 6s when I needed 6 plus invulnerable on my weird boy. Guy, because we're content creators, we make the show. You created the content. but there's just like, it's just nothing crazy ever happens. Hardly ever. Hardly ever, you know? That's annoying. How can we have a game that takes this long and we all love it, but nothing crazy happens? And it's because it's all theory of the mind, you know? 40k isn't a spectator game. No, I agree. I agree. As an analysis game, it's great, but as a spectator game, it's just awful. All that chess, anything crazy happened there? No, but it also lasts about 2 minutes. You know? It also lasts what, 4 minutes on a chess clock? What's the standard time of an actual chess game these days? 4 minutes? 5 minutes? The biggest issue of 40k is they don't get models as good as AOS. That is the truth. Yeah. People checkmate each other within seconds. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, going back to my online conversation, the last point I was wanted to make, because they said like people like with me and like having opinions and like people being against like criticism, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so frustrating. The last thing I wanted to say was I'm entitled to my opinion, and you can say I'm wrong. And our friend or friends, there we go, I lost it then. The most you can have, Wargaming, is where you have a friend or friends over, and you're just chilling and trying to kill each other. No meta, no pressure, just immaculate vibes. I will say that I think you can get immaculate vibes at tournaments, just not every game. It's not guaranteed, you know? It's definitely not guaranteed. But ultimately, it's just about the vibe of the person, right? Varak take. And I think it's a good take, to be honest. Because I think you can enjoy 40k that way. Definitely. For the ad revenue, title this video, Why I'm Not Playing 10th Edition. Why I'm not playing 10th Edition. Here's me bitching about the online community. 40k gets better as you get better at the game. More time to focus on tactics and player interactions instead of checking rules. Takes a lot of practice and changes. Yeah, that's the thing. There's the changes. I'm running out of space, chat. Okay. Here's a little line. Changes can be hard to keep up with. Hard. Changes hard. That's what I'm going to write. Because the thing is with it is someone like me who literally does this for a living, it's my job to just look at Warhammer and make content about it. You know, not a very good job, doesn't pay well, but I enjoy it. Is that, like, even sometimes I struggle to, like, keep up with all the changes. You know, like I said with, like, the Grotmas thing. Like, the last sentence of the video, even though everyone's hating me for the title, the last sentence in the video, it's great for me as a content creator for so much coverage, but for below, it's really weird and really bad. Because there is so much more to think about, so much in the mix with the balance being pretty good. We talked about the game being pretty balanced, so then they're throwing 30 detachments out in 25 days. Great for a casual player, but as like someone who's like trying to analyze it or trying to compete in a meta where you're trying to understand all the armies, it's really, really hard. So like I like the changes. I like the 3-month balance data slate. I do think they should be hot fixing things a little bit faster. But only a few things. Like, I think, like, Aquilons maybe should have got hot fixed officially rather than just everyone running the FAQ that only certain people have access to. I think the hot fixing should be, like, instant. Maybe, like, even before the book comes out, you know? Like, we get a pre-order. All those content creators call out the broken shit. It gets fixed before it actually goes on the shelf. You know, that's what I think. You know, but I think the 3-month update is good, but it's hard to follow sometimes as like a less involved player because everyone's spamming the broken shit. You know, everyone's spamming the latest broken shit from the updates. You know, the internal balance is shots. Everyone's just spamming all the shit. So then keeping up with the changes is hard because you have to keep following everyone else to work out what they can do so you know what you can do to counter it. You know, it all comes back to this. You know, all of it. The cost comes back to this. You know, digital rules comes back to this. You know, it's just... all of it comes back to internal balance is shot, so people spam the cheesy shit where they just shouldn't come out in the first place, you know? Would a total transfer to online digital app only fix stuff? I think the problem is, great question. I think the problem is that the problem is with it is that the digital aspect of Warhammer is great, but it's not like a hotfix in a video game, you know? In a video game, they send a patch update and something gets nerfed. It's not something that people have to remember. It just happens, you know? If you've got a gun that, let's say, does 100 damage. I'm just using a weird example, but here we go. You've got a gun, it does 100 damage, and the game devs are like, that's really strong. We're actually going to make it do 50, you know? Then it just happens, and that character is just generally weaker. But you don't have to think about it. You don't have to plan for it. You don't have to change your playstyle. Maybe you change your character. But it's not quite as easy in Warhammer because obviously you're invested in an army, which obviously an investment isn't just cost, it's also time because you have to build and paint it, etc. And then it gets patched, and then it's like, oh, actually, my army just doesn't function anymore, you know? And one, I've got to remember that change. My opponent's got to remember that change. And then sometimes it can be, oh, this army just doesn't work, or this certain expensive unit that I bought doesn't work, or it's just not as good, it just dies, or whatever. But also, you've got to, when it's called like a core game patch, you've got to remember it. And you've got to like retrain your brain. Like you've learned something. For example, as an example you've had, is like Overwatch, right? It's like Overwatch, forever, is you've just been able to shoot the unit, and it hit on sixes. But then they add stipulations. You've got to end within. You've got to be within 24, and you can do it in the movement phase. And any unit can Overwatch, and also Titanic can't, you know? They're all like little things that have changed over time, not necessarily just in balance patches, but just changed. And trying to get that in your head is annoying. If it was a video game, it just wouldn't do it. It can't do it. It's programmed out of it. But we're playing a game that's very physical, and we have to remember all those little things, which can be a lot. It's just like, that's the con, is the changes are like hard to keep up with sometimes. Even if it's a little bit, it's having to remember to memorize them all when you've already memorized, arguably, when you're playing it a lot, quite a complex game. So I think having exclusively digital rules would be a benefit, but I don't know if it fixes everything, you know? But yeah, I do agree. I don't think it would make it worse. I do only think it'd be a benefit, but it wouldn't fix all the problems with it, you know? Because the thing is with it, is going back to like the book being fixed before it actually goes on the shelf, is that if it was all digital, that'd be a lot easier. But the problem they have is they don't like fixing the books before they come out. They don't like doing that. They hate that, you know? We've had it with Votan, where the book got changed before it was officially released. We've had it with index cards. They really don't like doing that, which wouldn't be an issue if it was all digital. Agreed. And then that would be easier to do because then there's no book to be like, oh, it's out of date now. But they have a book department. They keep one of selling books, which is obviously shit, you know? They just want to keep printing books. They have a book department. They just want to keep printing books. But yeah, in specific instance, it'd be much easier to patch stuff if it was all digital, but they won't right now, which is annoying. So I kind of like agree and disagree at the same time. I think I agree. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think I pretty much agree. You know, digital rules, and we've kind of like done this bit to death before. I should probably circle stuff in yellow that I'm going back over. But like, yeah, digital would be a benefit, but it doesn't fix like this shit a lot of the time. What's my fault? What are you saying to me? Deathwatch nerfed again. It was Mikey's fault. It was my fault. True. What about a flagging system where using the app could highlight a particular ability or stat, and if enough people flagged it, Judo could review the thing in question? That would be so good. That would be so good. But that would take a thought process. And Judo don't have those. I think, you know, what should happen, you know, which doesn't, is when there's a big update, they have an app and everybody uses it, right? What they should have is every time there's an update to the core rules, little exclamation mark, you know? a little notification that you can only get rid of if you go read it. You know, if this gets updated tomorrow, the only way I'll know in the app is by looking at the rule and realizing it's different. You know, I do think a really good thing if they want everyone to use this because they've got the codes and they say everything in the app, everything's updated in the app. Use the app. You know, pay £35 for a book to go on the shelf and use your app. You know, is that when it's updated, like put a little exclamation mark next to it, and then I click on it, and I'm like, oh, one of the indexes has changed. Oh, it's actually a data sheet that's changed. Which data sheet is it? Oh, that's got an exclamation mark. Eldrad Ulthuan's changed. What is it? The ability is different, and then I know. Which I don't know why they don't do. That's such a simple, easy user interface that they could set up. Like Wikipedia, yeah. Like a fucking notification on your phone, you know what I mean? Someone liked your thing, you get a notification, you go look at it, then the notification goes. Do you have to pay for the app though? So, not really, no. To use the app inherently, no. The rules are unlocked with codex codes, which I think is a scam. But again, we've talked about digital a lot. It's not something I wanted to focus on like a big con, but it is a con. If you buy the codex, you have access to the rules in your phone. The thing that costs is list building, you know? Which you can only have one army roster. But not that I would condone piracy. But if you pay for 1 month of Warhammer Plus, and then make a list for every army. I am paying for Warhammer Plus right now, so this is irrelevant. But if I cancel Warhammer Plus, these lists don't go anywhere. Just to let you know. They do all stay. Just letting you know. Just saying. Just saying. So what you ideally want is Wikipedia for Warhammer. I doubt that would ever exist. If only it wasn't the Russians. So wait, you have to buy a paper codex and get the digital code. Fair enough, whatever. But then you have to pay on top of that to do list building. Yeah, you can only build one single list if you don't pay. You know? So if you play one army, it probably doesn't matter. But when you're paying, I do think you should just get access to the rules. You know, if I'm going to pay £5 a month for an app to get animations that they're not releasing, you know, I think the least they could do is be like, yo, here's the rule. I don't think GW will go fully digital due to piracy. Digital edition seems easy to pirate, and third-party army builders will give people an envy to bypass them. I don't think it's piracy that their problem is, because like that can be done anyway. You know, I think the problem is they want to keep the book department alive. My honest project was on a hybrid physical digital games, and what you just said about the difference between video games and board games is very thoroughly discussed academically. Interesting. If you got any links to that, that would be super fun to read. So if you got anything that you'd like recommend, like good reading for that, that's super cool. Maybe with how low quality the rules writers are, rules should just be free. That's the thing. Every other game in the industry is free. You know, like rules wise. The new Dark Age attachment allowed me to run a Storm Raven through walls, deploy the Dreadnought, some infantry, all of them shooting the hell out of it, and then charge them with an aircraft is okay. Yeah, I think it's like 5 out of 10. Okay. I don't think it's 5 out of 10. Okay. For some reason, they have no user experience designer. The way we can know this is Mutaton Field Manual doesn't have the previous points listed. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it'd be interesting though, looking at the next one, whether they change anything. I, among many others, have been fighting with Cubicle 7, publishers of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, to add a change list to their update notifications for like 3 years. They finally added it. It's not just GW hard dance. Yeah. Just everyone adjacent. If you're paying for a sub, you should get every credits rules. I agree. I agree. I feel like the printing has gone quite downhill since they outsourced the printing to China, though. The freight shipping delays really slow down their ability to quickly fix things. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's just like the common denominator is everything should just be digital, and it probably should be free. But there's like, unless we all stop buying codexes, you know, it's just not going to happen, which is the problem, you know, because then people need them to play. So it's just like, how do you boycott a product unless everyone just stops playing Warhammer until they would go, all the rules are free? Or everyone just continues to play. What everyone should do, index tournaments, because they were all free, you know? Index tournaments until the rules are free. No one changes the rules. No one plays the new stuff. That was it. That would be it. You know? That would be it. I'm still discussing the one list situation. It is pretty bollocks. But yeah, I did that thing at the start. When the app came out, it's like, make as many lists as you want. And then you have to pay. And it's just like, make one of every army. Not that I condone it. I read something on Reddit that someone did that. Not me personally. I read on Reddit, you know, the online community that I know and love, that if you make one list for every army and then cancel your subscription, then it just does nothing. Doesn't mean you can't anymore. I think if a more interesting / fun game comes along, it'll really kick GW into gear and make them modernize. I actually, not that I'm praying for the downfall, as I've discussed, but I do think GW holds such a monopoly that they can do whatever they want. That's ultimately the problem. There's competition, but it's just like nowhere near the same scale, which is like a really big issue. You know? That's the problem, is that there's no one out there that's like, there's like the odds and sods game, the small portion, you know, but like no one cares. That's what's annoying. There's a bunch of fun war games, yeah, for sure, but there's nothing that has like the IP that really captures people, because either they're coming up with their own IP which has not quite hit the ground, or they're using IP which is already out, which is not selling in that scale, or has got that public appeal, you know? Like, I did videos on, like, Halo, and I was expecting that to do pretty well, and it just didn't, you know? And yeah, they're just, like, Games Workshop has such a chokehold on it right now. They're just not made by companies with big stores dedicated to the single war game on the high street. Yeah. Warhammer but better is never going to kill Warhammer in the same way that WoW killers never killed WoW and D&D killers never killed D&D. Yeah. Well, at least there's competition, right? If you say roleplay, at least you can think of like stuff like Pathfinder and stuff like that. X-Wing was a sick game, to be fair. But they had the problem of putting stupid cards in expensive boxes for no reason. It's a funny one. It's a funny one. Trench Crusade is too grey and brown for me. I'm really interested in that. It's not quite the same vibe, but I do think, like, from like a casual side, it seems to be really making waves. You know, Battletech, Trench Crusade. I don't know why I thought of Battletech then. Because I read it on screen. Nope. Like Trench Crusade. I don't think it's going to be like, yo, everyone's going to start playing Trench Crusade tournaments. But I think as like a casual player, it might drag a lot of people away. I think it'll probably be a majority historical war game at this point. I've got bolt action to try. You know? I've got bolt action to try. Maybe I'm a bolt action player. I think the problem is with a lot of the smaller companies is that Games Workshop releases something nearly every week. You know, no other company can quite keep up with that production right now. For a physical game to have a new release every single week is wild. Come around and teach you Flames of War. I bought my first set of Flames of War with Scott, I think. Then I split mine with Scott back in the day. Open fire. It really isn't. STL makes have an entire range every month. But the thing is with STL is that's your problem. You know? Yeah, you can print a new army every week. It's not quite the same as like a box of plastic models, you know? You can print anything all day, every day. That is great, but that is like you're talking to niche and you just like split it into like what, a fifth of people maybe that can play that game now? Yeah, Bad Squid Games is good. Big time. Anyway, chat, I think I've ranted enough now. I think the game's good, but it could be better. You know? It definitely could be better. There's a couple of things, a few patches, a few fixes. The problem is they keep bringing out new shit to make you buy it, and then they have to fix that as well. And then they have to fix what was already broken, and then they have to fix what's now broken because of this new thing. Can't no female Astartes, true. Looking for us to chuz that actually play games. Also very true. Also very true. So anyway, chat, thank you so much for watching tonight. I'm going to do a hard abrupt because I was going to wait for this song to finish. And then I realized it's in a 3-hour playlist. So I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to go like this. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your insight and all your opinions. I think it's been a good chat about 40k being good and bad. I'll be back tomorrow at 11:30. We're going to be looking at the new Grey Knights detachment. And then we're going to play Space Marine 2. And I'm going to be on live on YouTube and Twitch. So if you want to watch on Twitch, you can get your Twitch drops. You can get your unlocks and stuff. So that'll be happening tomorrow. Basically from about 12:30. Twitch drops and stuff. But that's the plan. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate you all. Thank you. You've all been very nice. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I thought maybe you learned something or got something from it. I just want the game to be good. That's basically what the end of the stream is going to be. I want the game to be cool. And I think it can be. Just needs a... You know? And that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Alright? For anyone who's watching on Reddit. So thanks. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm live every day. Oh, what I should say. Don't forget, Tuesday, I'm doing that. Wednesday, I'm live twice. We're doing rules in the morning. And the morning news in the morning. And we're doing the charity stream on Wednesday evening with Big C, the charity battle report, the Jingle Jammer. And then Thursday, we're live in the morning. And then Friday, I'm doing a joint stream. I just don't know where that is. I'm live every single day in December, by the way. Right, I'm going. Bye, 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 bye. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Bye, 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 bye. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Woo. It was Alex. Fuck. I thought it was Scott. Bye. Oh, we're going to raid Kirioth. So if you're just going to stay, let me do that. We're going to raid Little Kirioth because they're doing a charity stream still, I think. They are. Let's go raid Kirioth, say hi, send some love, doing a charity stream for Calm. See you there. Bye, 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 bye.